All right. Welcome everyone. Hello, Angry General. How's your Sunday going? So we have Greeno. Hello to you. Um, we have Milland. I hope you're doing fine, gentlemen. So, Angry, is everything good? Jesus Christ. I hope you didn't bet that much on football, dude. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, we'll start in like 2 minutes. I'm just waiting for people to come in, I guess. $10 and you can make 150k from $10? Is that fucking real? My bad for cursing. I think I'll stop cursing from now on. $10 into 150k. Oh, if you get all the teams right, or something like that, right? Anyway. So yeah, guys, we're just gonna wait 2 more minutes for people to come in, because people are. Is the game almost done though? I know the Patriots are playing. Is the game almost done? Ah, I see. Right now, the Saints and the Eagles are playing. All right. Well, we'll worry about football another day, because we have the market to do analysis on right now. So yeah. So if you okay, well, whatever, dude. We'll just do it, and people who are watching that, they can watch the recording afterwards. I guess that's how I'm gonna make it. So yeah, guys, welcome to the weekly webinar, um, where we forecast the market. We look at the market. So a quick recap of last week. What did we say? First thing we said was that this week was going to be what? This week is going to be BTFD, right? So what happened this week? Basically, everything was going down, but got bought back up immediately, right? It went down, bought back up. Went down, bought back up, right? Went down, bought back up. All right? So basically we were right. Also, if you look at the term structure for VIX, it started normalizing, so we're out of contango. So what did we said about VXX? It's a short. So if you took some puts, then you're doing really fine. You're doing fantastic. We're already up on the position, and it's really good. It's making a lot of money. And the thing is that as soon as the VXX structure is going to yeah, I'll cover those, general. And as soon as the S&P is gonna go up like to 263, VXX is gonna die. Could even see like below 30s. Okay, because the structure is normalizing. So as soon as the structure normalizes for VXX, this is when you see VXX accelerate to the downside. And I can't really explain the term structure. It's just something about contango and backwardation, but I can't explain it. It's just something that I've seen previously, like I said in the previous webinar. Whenever you have a spike and then you start correcting the next spike, usually the next sideways will be when the term structure normalizes, aka when VXX doesn't do like BS kind of things, right? So yeah, that's about it. So we're really doing very, very well overall in the market. A lot of people were calling big shorts around here. I was like, no, dude, there's no way. Because again, I was looking at some stuff, and it was like it was clear that there was no way it was a big short. So a lot of people lost a lot of money holding puts, and yeah, it's just you like puts on SPY, and yeah, I mean, there's no way in which this was not a long. Okay. Also, if you saw my post, I posted this pattern, an ABC for an up leg, and that pattern really played out perfectly. So this is what you call a running flat again, guys. So you have a first sharp move to the downside, but because we were expecting BTFD, we saw this move up. As soon as you get this move up, to go even higher, you need to come back down, right? So this move down was actually really good for longs because now we can spike again in the trend. So that's about it, guys. It's very easy. All right, so what's gonna happen next week? So we're still expecting this 263 fib rejection. So as soon as we're gonna get to here, so here's the thing. We have ERs coming next week, and we'll have to see if we come to 263 before Netflix's ER. We're going to accept. We're gonna assume that Netflix is gonna tank the market. Okay, so if we climb to 263 before Thursday, which is Netflix's ER, Netflix is likely to go down on ER because this is where we're expecting SPY to do this, right? To either do this before the next leg up, right? A huge, huge, huge sideways before the next move up, or to complete another pattern where you can actually go down before going back up. And why am I putting this right here? Because you have to look at the left on the charts, right? There's a famous YouTuber, I'm pretty sure you've heard about him, Akil Stokes, who always says, like, look left, structure leaves clues or whatever. Well, what happened there, guys? What happened there? We went all the way back up, and then we went all the way back down before the next move up, right? We made this. So if that is to repeat, which is actually a possibility, then we could see that right here before the next move up. Okay? Either way, I'm expecting some resistance at 263. Thoughts on Powell, 9 a.m. tomorrow. I think Powell is gonna pump the market. I mean, every time he has opened his mouth, almost all the times were longs, except for maybe once or twice. Okay, so Powell is literally like the guy that everybody, like all the big investors love, because it's always a long, except for I think it was here where he gave a speech, and we initially went up on the 1 minute, but then we came back down. But everybody remembers this one because we made a lot of money on this one. So yeah, that speech, right? I remember all the Powell speeches and where they are in the charts. So yeah, this one was a huge long, and that was Powell. Where was Powell again? Here, right here. So every time Powell says something, the market tends to go up, and that's just my assumption. And if we're expecting the market to keep on this upward structure, because this is from what I'm looking at on the Japanese yen and all that stuff, it doesn't look like it wants to die. So Michael, I'm pretty sure you're 13, right? I'm pretty sure you're 13, but I don't remember. I don't know. I'm just looking at your profile picture. But anyway, so you know how this is going to pull back, right? We're going to have a sharp move to the upside here, right? It's going to be really sharp. And that's as soon as we're going to get this sharp move up, where people get exhilarating, they buy a lot of stuff, then the pullback is going to happen, right? It's not going to happen like this. slowly. Rarely does it do that, right? It's gonna be really fast to the upside, and then really fast rejection, correction, and then pullback. Okay. All right, yo, let's continue. So yeah, guys, I'm expecting some resistance at 263, and because like I said, it's the Fibonacci confluence. If you want me to show you again, I can. So here's the 50%, and here's the 618, and you can see that they converge here. So that's the level that I'm looking at. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And as soon as we get there, we're just, well, okay, first of all, I got to make a disclaimer. This is no trading recommendation. This is for educational purposes only. So yeah, what I'm about to say, if you do take some financial losses, they're not my fault. This is for educational purposes only. I am not a CPA nor a CFA, so don't take my advice as financial recommendation. But yeah, if we do get to here, we're going to be looking to short some call spreads and just leaving the market. All right? Because here, Angry General, this is a lesson for you. How does the market go up in general? How does a complex system go up? Right? How does a complex system go up? It's spikes with really long correction, right? You see this? Now, how does the market go down? How does the market go down? In one big spike, right? It goes down in a big spike. Whenever a complex system goes down really fast, but to go up, it takes a long time. It's like building a city or building a house. It always takes time, man, to pull the bricks, but to kill the house, or to I don't know how to demolish. Yeah, demolish the house. It's, you just have to you can demolish it in like a day. You bring the thing and boom, you bamboozle it, right? You get what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. It goes way faster to the downside than it goes to the upside. So what we're expecting, we're gonna expect a really long term correction. So if we short some calls as soon as we get this pop, then this is gonna be a really good R2R play, and this is gonna bring us income, bro. This is where you can, because you have a job, and that you can do. You can short some call spreads right there. And if we're expecting this to pull back for like a month or two, these call spreads are gonna expire worthless, and you're gonna collect the premium, right? So yeah, so that's about it. I won't ramble too long. And again, does this level make sense? Well, you have to look at other charts. And actually, if you look at BA, yes, because we're expecting BA to, like we said in the previous webinars. I don't know if you guys remember, but what did we say here? What did we say when BA was here? It can be this 3-wave, right? Whoops, sorry. You can see this, okay? And then either you tank, or what happens when you come here? A big correction before the next pop, right? Because you're not sure if this is just a big expanding flat, right? You're not sure if that's the bigger pattern for upside, or if this is still going to go lower on the bigger picture. We're not sure yet. But what I can promise is that at this point, it's very, very rare that you just get this. It's very, very rare that you just get this, right? You almost never get this, okay? You either get a big correction for like a month or two before the next huge pop, or you get total downside. All right? So I hope you got that. Let's go back to NQ. So NQ, like we said, is just going to grind higher. We're still expecting the same BTFD style pattern. Again, because we went to more sidelines. Now, what I tell my people usually is just pull a trend line, right? You know, this is the basic, guys. A trend line is not like, oh, you're bouncing off of a crazy point, right? No, a trend line literally says, yo, you're in a trend, and you're going to be looking for patterns completing near the trend, right? So we got our first one right there before the next up move, and now we're probably going to just go sideways, and then boom, as soon as you get to the near the trend line, if it's just in a sideways fashion, then if you're spiking up, we're likely to go higher, right? So it's very, very simple. Okay, so yeah, just as soon as you get a pullback, guys, buy. It's still BTFD mode. Okay, so far I don't see anything disconfirming this thing, and we're just gonna trade it like that. As soon as we get 263 and we see BA in the 360 range, we have to be careful. All right. Okay, let's go. So SPX, like I was saying on the big on the futures chart. So I'm not sure if this is an expanding flat for upside, which I'm pretty sure it is. I mean, I'm not sure it is, or if we are to continue lower, okay. But either way, here we're gonna see what we get, right? On the lower pattern, pattern, if you're not in any longs, definitely, if you're not in any longs, this is clearly not a pattern to long into, right? This is never a pattern to long into, because it could do this, right? You get a spike down, then you get some weird waves, and as soon as you see this, you have to be wary as a long, okay? Because it can always go back down right there before it goes up, okay? Completing this pattern. All right, so be careful. If you're not in any longs on the lower time frame, wait for a dump. But if you're in longs, move your stop to break even, guys. It's just as simple as that, okay? So move your stop into break even. But if you're not in any longs right now, wait for this like what, 30-point move down maybe, and then you can take a good R2R long, right? Okay, wait for it to go down, come near the trend line, and then you can take the good R2R long. All right. Okay, let's go. Dow Jones, same thing. Pull the trend line. So Dow Jones is literally the same thing. It's gonna come here and then go up. Or can it go up right now, Dragos? Yes, it could, but it's not something I would go long into right now. But yeah, it could really go up right now. But if for trading wise, you should wait for a dump. Okay. So remember, if you're not in any position, wait for a dump before getting back in. That's as simple as that. That's next week in a nutshell. Okay. Next week in a nutshell, wait for a dump and then BTFD. That's it, guys. That's it. That's simple. You can leave the webinar right now if you want. Okay. That's as simple as it is. So VIX, keep on shorting it. So you can see, and it's actually like mathematically wise, it's actually interesting. Look at this curvature. So it does this. Okay, so now it's actually going exponentially to the downside. So it really tells you that VIX wants to die, right? Like when you see this, it really tells you that VIX wants to really go lower. So that's what we're going to be expecting. Obviously, UVXY is going to be a really big short, as is VXX, okay, the one that we're in. So yeah, all right. IWM, expecting further upside. Nothing much to add here. We came to the close to the lower trend line and bounced. So right now, what can happen? Basically, a lot of stuff. We're either in a bigger correction, so we're probably going to push higher. We're going to make a bigger sideways before we go higher. Okay, so that we're going to be looking for that one. And yeah, I don't expect this to go all the way back down. I don't expect this to crash anymore. That's all I'm saying. Okay, and that's the thing, man. Like if you look at it, the S&P 500, bro, like I don't understand these people, man. People with support and resistance, they're like, yo guys, now they're pulling their fibs from here to here, and they're like, guys, we're going all the way to 1500 because it's the 618. And I see all the people in the comments being like, yeah, man, great analysis and all that stuff. What is this? And they're saying this is support. Does it really mean that we're going there? Absolutely not. Look at the price action. Look at the price action right now. Does this price action indicate that we're gonna tank? Hell no. Hell no. Okay? This is not meaning we're gonna be in a financial collapse. Okay? But let me tell you something. Was this leg down important for the market? Absolutely. Okay? Because the leg down in February, okay, that was the first leg down. And as you guys know, after you get a second leg up, you always need a third wave. You need this third wave before we can actually go up. Okay? So now can we go to 3K? Absolutely yes. If you tell me, yo, we're going to 3K, I'm gonna be like, yeah, maybe. That's a good possibility. But here I would have been I told everybody we're not going to 3K. I was actually a bear right here when everybody was like, what are you doing, Dragos? You're stupid, right? Anyway. So yeah, guys, don't like it's just people are just not understanding the way the market works, man. It's crazy. Like, I mean, yeah, you could have some long-term puts really far out, but to say that we're absolutely going to 1500, that's too crazy, okay? That's Peter Schiff crazy. Okay? So don't be that guy. All right, INTC. So very simple, like we said last week. We're looking for this retest. So INTC is going to be very similar to AMD. So remember that pattern, guys. So as soon as we come here, what's going to happen around this place? Because we completed a potential 3-wave, we can either dump or create a bigger sideways for upside, right? So around this, you can exit your long for profits and look for a sideways before taking the next long. Because like I said, guys, remember, for a market to go higher, it's going to go through a lot of cycles of sideways, okay? So look out for that one. NVIDIA is pretty much perfect. What we said last week was that this is going to be a big long. One of my best friends, Neil, is in some March calls, and yeah, he's killing it. And I showed in my last webinar why this break of the low was actually important, because if you look back at the 2011 charts on NVIDIA, you're going to see why this is important, because it's literally the same pattern. So now what can happen on NVIDIA? Like I said, guys, this is the pattern that I'm looking for. So we can expect this to come all the way here, and then either we dump or we create a bigger correction before the next upside. Okay, so very similar to the INTC forecast, but this is the way it goes. This is the way I look at charts. Okay, so 164, 168 to complete this potential running flat, and then either we're wrong and this creates a correction for like a month, or it totally tanks. Okay, MU. So MU is looking ready for upside. So watch out for the big long. This is a huge wedge, and yeah, it should start popping soon. So as soon as we're gonna get here, be careful. As soon as we break, we can start a bigger correction before the upside. Can we totally take off? Yes, but it's unlikely, since the other stocks like Nvidia and ITC don't look that like they wanna pop that much higher. But we can definitely see like what 38, 39. Okay, so MU is looking like a good long here. So AMD. AMD, what we said last week was that we are looking at this bigger sideways, if you remember correctly, because I basically said that this was a 3-wave and we were looking for a huge short, right? Well, what happened there? We retested the low and then we bounced. That's the first sign of concern that you're probably wrong about this being a huge short. And then as soon as we see this candle from a big downside, this reversal candle, we're like, okay, we're not looking for downside anymore. We're actually going at least back here, right? So this is for you Ferrari trader. If you're watching my webinar, we're at least expecting it to go all the way here, like we said in the previous webinar, to complete this bigger sideways, right? This bigger fractal, and then either dump again or bigger sideways, right? Before the next up move. So guys, and listen to me carefully. I'm saying that we're going to get this sideways. If we don't get this sideways, then I can't, like, if we do get this sideways, I'm going to be really confident on the long, okay? Because now you can be like, yo, but Dragos, you're saying that it's going to go up or down. No, I'm not. I'm saying it's going to go up to here, and then we're going to see like a bigger correction to confirm that we're not looking for the short, and then we're going to go higher, right? I don't know if you understand the difference, but there is a difference right there. Netflix. So Netflix is pretty good. It's been spiking a lot, but this is going to be a very important chart next week because it's the one that has ER this Thursday. So we were looking at these targets, and they just beasted through all these targets based on fibs, right? From this high to this low, and from this high to this low. But they just it was from here because I thought that this would be the low, but this is now the low, so we have to probably change that. Okay. Another time. So yeah, and now you can actually see some confluence. So at 348, that would be a very interesting idea, a very interesting place, and it might be that where we actually start the downside. And honestly, dude, I'm gonna ask one of my friends to. We're probably gonna short some calendar spreads. We're probably gonna collect the premium on some calendar spreads, like probably something like that, right? Some from 310 to 270 maybe. If we're expecting, I think Netflix is, because if we do get SPY to 263 before Thursday, then Netflix is likely the stock that is going to ignite or spark the bigger sideways, in a sense. I don't know if that made sense to you, but yeah, that's what I'm saying, is that, you know, here we're likely to see, like, Netflix is likely to pull back the market, all right? Because it just doesn't go up like this all the till infinity, right? It's gonna pull back. And now what you can do, guys, is actually look at previous ERs that happened when we had this bigger correction, and you can actually see that some ERs caused some pullbacks, right? So this is one of the cases where if we do see SPY at 263 and before Thursday, then and Netflix is still chilling right there, then Netflix is likely to go lower on ER. Okay. All right, Apple. So Apple, what we said, and this is actually what I don't really like, is that we were looking for Apple to just to become beast mode, but it didn't do that. So this is kind of worrying, okay? Because it's not pulsating, all right? And if it's not pulsating, then this is kind of a short, sadly. But we'll have to see. If you look at the waves on the lower structure, you can actually see that this is looking to chill in this sideways, pull down to complete this pattern, and then go back up, right? So it's gonna be in a huge sideways, man. It's gonna be very boring for Apple in the next couple of days, if we don't see any action on Monday. And if it's boring for Apple, it's likely to be boring for Amazon. And if you think about it too, like why would they move Amazon and Netflix before Netflix's ER if it's such a big catalyst? Like it wouldn't make sense, right? And honestly, we're at, like, we've pulsated like a lot on Amazon, and it looks like we wanna dump, but we're not doing it. However, it does look like we wanna pull, like, really a lot of sideways before the next move up, right? Exactly. Shorting volatility is the way, man. Like the VXX puts, they're really doing job, and next week is gonna be the same thing. So that's why it's so good for you, Angry General, because you have a job. Literally, like that's why I told you short VXX instead of buying SPY, because you're working at the same time, right? But volatility is high, and eventually volatility is going to come back down, right? That's that's the basis of life, right? Fear fear doesn't is not here to stay. Okay? That's just the way it is. Fear is not there to stay. It's just an event in commas, right? It happens once and then it goes away. And now it's going away. Okay? So Facebook. Oh yeah, so what I was saying is that Amazon is not interesting at all, okay? Forget Amazon, forget like all these things. It's so boring, right? It's really like nothing is gonna happen. Wait for a bigger correction and all that stuff, and then you can take the long. Right now, there's nothing to do. There's no momentum. There's nothing. Facebook, same thing here. We're expecting some pullback, so you know you can take this. Just wait. It's gonna pulse. It's gonna come back down to the trend line, and then it's gonna go higher, right? So wait for a pullback and then take the long. Like literally just wait for a pullback onto the trend line and then take your next long. That's gonna be a better R2R, because I see some people who are like, "Yo, Dragos, how do I combat what's it called, FOMO?" And I'm like, "Well, FOMO doesn't exist. It's just that you don't take good R2R setups. Just wait for a pullback and then take the long. If you know that we're in an up spike, then just wait for a pullback. Jesus, you know." Like same thing for BTC. Just wait for a crash. A crash might be a pullback in BTC terms, right? Okay, MSFT. Same thing for MSFT. So right, same thing. Bull flag, buy. It's very simple. Okay, it's just so simple. It's gonna create an up channel. So look for the buy here. Google, buy, 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 buy. Okay, so it's at the trend line. So you can literally start buying this all the way here. And then again, what did I say? We either get, as soon as it breaks the previous high, we either get a bigger sideways correction for the next move up, or total tank. Whoops. Total tank. Okay. All right, Baba. So Baba is playing out pretty nicely. Uh, we said that this was along here, all the way to here. So we're almost there. My best friend made a lot of money on this. He was down to 50% of his account, and then he saw my videos, and then he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna chase some Baba calls." He chased, and his account is back to normal. But yeah, so guys, there's still a lot of juice on this. Remember, like we said, Baba has seasonality in January. So seasonality is basically where a business is usually good, like a time in the year where a business is actually like outperforming in according to history, and this is right now for Baba, right? So we have seasonality on our side, we have patterns on our side, we have everything on our side. Now the only thing we need is a China deal. As soon as there is a China deal, Baba opens at like 200 and we're millionaires, right? I'm kidding, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, but there's a disclaimer at the beginning of this video. All right, Baidu. Baidu slow and steady. Honestly, it's a very boring stock to hold, but it's gonna pay dividend, because at one point this is gonna go higher, right? I don't think Baidu is gonna go bust or anything. It's just a very natural pullback. Now this pullback is not aggressive. Same thing as Apple. So can we dump some more? Yes, but I wouldn't care if you're holding some stock right now. Hodl, because this is the price of Baidu right now is just so value-ish, right? That you should be holding. Lowest I can see on Baidu is 120, and if we do get that 120, yo, be ready, because I have a lot of money left on the side. I'll be buying a lot of Baidu um, stocks. Why? So all these Chinets are looking ready to pop. Okay, we had a nice sideways right here, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, and now we're looking to go all the way here, right, to complete this pattern. to complete this pattern. Oops. This is not the right color. Whatever. I'm gonna change it right now. So I need the gold. All right. So that's really nice. The orange color. So yeah, we're looking at this. So you know, Chinets are looking good. IQ is also a long pullback here, and then long. Huya is looking like a long too, like we said. But remember, guys, like we said, you can be looking for this right here. You're looking for this right here. You're looking for this right here. You're looking for this right here. But only do you get it right here. Okay, so it's the same thing as UNH. You're looking for the same pattern, but you never get it. All right, the wave down extends, right? So sometimes that does that, and you just have to understand that you need to buy as soon as you know. This is one of the things where it's kind of difficult to forecast because yes, you're forecasting this pattern, but how do you know when this wave down within the pattern is over? That's really tough. Okay, so I guess for these kind of stocks where they like to just pump and dump, wait for the Momo to get back into the long so that you can take a good R2R long on the pullback, right? So now if you do get a pullback on Huya, then for sure now it would be the best time ever to go long Huya, right? Because there's actually a pullback right now. There's actually like it went from what 15 to 20, so that's what 20% in like a month. So that's really good. There's consistent buy. There looks to be like consistent buyers right here. So on a pullback, you can definitely take the long. Okay, so that's one of the things I learned in 2018 that I want to apply in 2019 is that for this wave down, if you're expecting it to be really, really like deep, or like we say an infinity B wave, because we're saying that this is an A wave inside of a correction A, right? That's the first leg. That's the B, which is the leg in the direction of the trend, and then the C, right? So that would be the third leg. Then the B wave, for you to know when it's completed, you don't really have to. You just have to wait for the the momentum to come in right now here, and then on a pullback you take the long. So this is actually because I'm an options trader, right? So if you buy some calls right there, you get wrecked. I've gotten wrecked on like IQ, right? Because it just kept on going lower. I've shown you this. So this is, you can actually learn from my mistakes. And honestly, I shouldn't be telling you that because this is actually like some pretty good information because you can learn from my mistakes. But yeah, wait for the Momo to kick in, and then on a pullback you can take the long. That's it. That's it. Bizun is a long. So look out for buys. Momo retested this low like we said I think a month ago. So we're looking for upside now. PDD, which is my favorite one, upside. Like I said, this one should go retest the highs. So there's really good money to be made here. Everybody in China loves a reality TV. So we're expecting this to go again above 30 and maybe be the next IQ or like be the next pump. Billy, boring. Weibo is very, very boring. You can see that while and this is where you apply comp analysis. So what comp analysis is that you look at the same businesses, but in different well, the same business type, but in different stocks basically. So Chinese stocks like Momo, Bizun, YY, IQ, Huya, they're all looking up. But what has this done? It's been dying. It's been dying. So there's a problem right there. Right? There's a problem in Weibo. So forget Weibo and concentrate on the other ones, right? Simple as that. If it's not right here, where everybody should be at, where it should be at, if it kept the same momentum as the other Chinese stocks, and it's here, then there's clearly no interest in buying this thing by big boys. So don't touch it. JD. So JD as well. Wait for a pullback here, and then look for the long. I mean, this is at $20. So it's just a really cheap play. You can take some 30 Cs for like next year maybe for like what 50 cents, $50. Sorry. So yeah. All right, Neo upside as well. BKNG. So BKNG, we said that this was going to be a lagger. We still expecting this to go all the way back up here. One of my like the guys in my chat are in 2000 Cs for March. I like this play. It's really solid. I took some 1700s for last week, which expired worthless, but it's just gambling, and some 1700s for this week. So I'm still expecting this to start popping. I think this is a really good play. So yeah, we're gonna see some momentum. I'm expecting this to be completed, and as soon as we get the spy pop from through 259 to 263, then this should really rocket, right? So look out for this long. It's really a good play. Or if you want to really be conservative right here, guys, which is fine for me, wait for this to retest the low, and as soon as it retests the low, then this is an even better R2R long, right? Because this is literally your trade. Right now, this is my trade, right? This is my trade. Okay. Um. So yeah, and we're expecting a retest of the upper channel at least. Can this explode to the upside? Yeah, it definitely can. Tesla. So Tesla and this I'm gonna take a long time on because a lot of people are like, even my friend Eric doesn't understand what I'm saying. So because like I said, guys, we're expecting this to go all the way back to 410. And I don't know if you guys saw my previous webinar, but just look at this. It's just in this big sideways. It goes up really sharp, comes back down really sharp again, goes back up sharp, breaks this high slightly, comes all the way back down, up, and then all the way back down, breaks this low slightly, goes up, down sharp, up sharp as well, down sharp, and then another up, breaks this. It's gonna break this high slightly, and then it's gonna complete this triple three. Thoughts on ES right now? I don't know. I'll check later. But let's just finish Tesla because it's the most important one. Well, not the most important one, but this is a lot of money. We're in like 400 Cs for February. So this is really important. Um, so yeah, so what do I think is gonna happen? Because my friend, he's new to wave analysis and all that stuff. So he's like, yo, Dragos. And this is for all the previous charts, guys, that I said it can either correct or give you a tank, right? So he's like, yo, Dragos, isn't this a three wave for a dump, right? So you get a spike, and then you get a 1 2 3, and then you get a spike. And I'm like, yes, it can. But if on the higher time frame we're expecting this to go, then as soon as you break the low, this can either start a really big correction before the upside, or you can either totally tank. What is happening right now, guys? What is happening? We're getting the bigger correction exactly at the spot we thought we would get the bigger correction. All right, so it's very simple. I had a lot of my friends exit calls right here and then wait for the dump to actually load back into the calls, because we literally said, yo, it's going to be BTFD. So as soon as we got this moment of volatility, BTFD came in, we bought, right? So good job, Justin. So yeah, so what do I think is going to happen right now? Again, is this a pattern for big upside? Is this looking to do this? No, this is looking to create this big sideways, all right, to the upside, a very big B wave. It's gonna dump to complete to match this leg, and as soon as we get the dump, then we can complete a very huge pattern and then go up. All right. So I don't know if you guys got this, but it's very it's not simple, but I meant that as soon as we get this leg down, get some it's still gonna be a buy. It's not gonna be a short. It's still gonna be a buy. All right. Okay, let's because right now we're just in a bigger sideways, okay, on Tesla. But as soon as we get the dump, maybe on a day where there's really bad news and it opens at like what 332, it's gonna go up. Let's look at the S&P. All right, dude, there's nothing to say, man. It's just there's nothing to say. What is this? You know, there's nothing to say on the lower time frame. What can you see? You can literally see that this is a pattern. This could be a pattern for more upside, right? So literally there's there's nothing to say. This leg down doesn't really matter. Okay. CMG. So CMG is going to pull back. So you can see that there's literally some shorts stacking, and as soon as but you have to wait for the Momo, all right, because a lot of shorts are going to get trapped in CMG, and as soon as you get trapped on CMG, your contracts get dried super quickly, all right. If you can't time the short perfectly on CMG, man, you can lose money so fast on this thing, it's crazy. So wait for the break, all right, wait for it to dump like $5, and on a pullback on the 1 minute, take the next short, right? Wait for this to start dumping. Take the next short. We're gonna see some bigger sideways. I think within the 485 to the 510 range before the next up move, right? So maybe do this, maybe come back down, and then the next upside, right? You've seen me do this all the time. So yeah, long-term upside on CMG, right? ER is in 3 weeks, so we can moon on ER, but for now I would expect it to go sideways. Let's do banks, guys. So banks upside. They have ER this week. It's actually going to be interesting. I don't really. I think you just have to short premium on the bank ERs. I don't think either one of them is going to moon or dump. I think it's just going to remain sideways. Or maybe they can actually gap up if we are to see SPY at 263 before the next Netflix ER. So I might retract that. I would actually be inclined to buy banks for ER. Sorry. So yeah. Or just short premium, to be honest. Deutsche Bank is really interesting again. Look out for this long. So on this ER, look out for this thing. My first webinar, you explain it all so clearly. Have to go and we'll watch the rest later. Please post the link of this. No problem, dude. I hope I hope it made sense. But yeah, thank you, Milind, and take care, dude. All the best next week. So yeah, Deutsche Bank, we're expecting this leg to the upside to happen soon here. So if you take some 10 Cs for what March, it's actually a good play. It's actually a good play, and maybe there's gonna be a buyout. Who knows? C again retested the previous level of support at the trend line, so we're expecting a little bit more upside here. GS. Same thing on GS. It's and the thing is that GS is also looking to go sideways here. So the way GS is going sideways really doesn't indicate of we get a spike to the upside and then we get this. This is never going to do this. Almost never does it do this. I can assure you. It almost never does this. It's just a sideways for more upside. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. And GS is actually something I would be interested to play either uh, after the ER. Okay, so after the ER, we have to see where this is prior to ER. Okay, so if prior to the ER it's right here, it tanks to 172 within the expected range. It does this, and then within the expected range, if it opens right here, buy calls. Buy calls. This is called the one of my strategies, which is called the how did I dub it? It's the fallen angel strategy. So for the fallen angel strategy, you need to have a trend to the upside, and you have to be in a big correction. So as soon as you're in the big correction and you're not sure if it's over, use the ER to create the final pieces in the puzzle. So if we do get this dump, then this sideways is going to be over, and we're actually going to be going to the upside, right? And it's going to give you more confirmation if it falls within the expected range, because if it falls within the expected range, there's no surprises. If there's no surprises, then this was just a volatility shot, and we're actually we can actually go back up, right? Now you might say, well, Dragos, isn't this the three wave? I don't know, and I don't think so, because yes, this is looking sharp, but we can also, I think we can also get another one right there, which would be more, how can I say this, completing esque of this bigger sideways. Okay. Disney, again, Disney is a huge long. There's nothing else to say on the higher time frame. Just, I don't even know what to say here. This shouldn't come back down. What am I saying? So again, like I explained in the previous webinar, this correction looks over, and actually Disney's next ER might be really huge. Okay, so in 3 weeks Disney has ER. Now what you can do, guys, is literally be like, yo, I'm gonna pray, and it's not even a joke. I'm gonna pray this does this. It's very, very unlikely, but if we do get this just a sideways, then this is just gonna burst on ER. There's no other way, because this huge sideways is just completed. I think this huge sideways from April 2017, literally 1 year sideways, is over. That's what I'm saying. No, actually, almost 2 years sideways. This huge sideways from 98 to 120 is over, and Disney can actually go to like 130, 150. And if that does that, next ER, holy crap, this is a lot of money. Okay, but you have to be like, I'm gonna pray this pulls us sideways, because if it does pull us sideways, then you can be confident on this going back up. All right, because why am I saying pray for a sideways? Because this is a spike, right? So if you get a spike, you need a sideways to spike again, right? Spike sideways, spike sideways. That's the gist of wave theory. Okay, so I'm praying for a sideways so that it spikes on ER. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so we have to keep track of this and its ER. All right. Comcast, nothing else to say. Very, very boring stock, but upside, right? Can go all the way here, and then we'll see. Yeah, there's nothing else to add. There's nothing interesting. I'm just gonna cover everything that's interesting, because otherwise we'd be here for a long time. I don't want to take too much of your time, because I know there's football. Again, QCOM, same thing as AMD, INTC. Look for this break, and then again another sideways, upside, or dump. Very, very simple. Oracle, like I said last week, but obviously TradingView won't update my charts. So this thing is looking like it wants to reverse to the upside, and it's actually not a short anymore. So yeah, this can be a big sideways for upside now. Okay. Now, do you want to trade Oracle right now? No, it's total garbage. All right, because where it's at right now, it's it has spiked a lot. It has spiked a lot. Okay, so wait for the 263 retest. We're probably gonna be here, and then we're gonna start the bigger correction, and then you can take the next long, right? The 1 to 2 month correction. IBM, again, you had a spike. So after a spike, what do you get, guys? A correction. Okay, before the next long. So don't do anything here. Caterpillar is very nice. So we're expecting it to still come all the way back here, similar to QCOM, similar to AMD, similar to INTC. Break the high here, and then either give us a bigger pullback for the next long or totally tank. DE. So DE, same thing here. So DE has been really perfect so far, but now we forgot about the stock because right now it's entering a sort of chaotic phase where it does whatever it wants to do. But here's the thing, guys, and I mean, here's the thing. If we do get the pullback from 263 to I don't know what, but for like 2 to 3 months, I'm expecting commodities to go up. Because if the money is not in stocks, where's it going to flow? It's going to flow into agriculture. Agriculture has been so beaten down that it's ready for a pop back up. So that's one of my crazy calls is that in February or end of January when things starts to pull a bigger pullback, you know, crops are actually going to be interesting, or metals or whatever you commodity is going to be interesting then. But there's going to be really big upwards momentum in commodities, so look out for that one. And DE is actually going to be a big winner. So DE is went all the way back down and went back up. So as soon as you get this, wait for a big sideways before the next upside. Okay. It's very simple because you can't do anything. Two big spikes is never a pattern. Okay, two big spikes is never a pattern. Wait for a big sideways, and then you can take the next long if we are to go back up. Okay. HD. So HD is just a big pattern like this. It's gonna come right here, create a big pullback, and then go. Same. But and here's the thing, guys. A lot of people are gonna say, yo, you can't say this is not gonna drop. I'm really telling you guys, the probability of this breaking under this is literally zero. Is literally zero. This is looking like a perfect structure for upside. There's nothing else to say. This is like standard wave theory. Right? You break the high right here and you come all the way back down, and that's an expanding flat. Okay. But again, what do we need now? You get a spike from the bottom on the 1 hour on the 4 hour. So what do you need? You need a 4 hour to 1 hour correction before the next long. Okay. So keep that in mind. For you to get more probabilities in your trades, wait for a sideways. Always wait for a sideways. It kills the FOMO and it gives you more probabilities on your setup. FedEx long. Okay. So FedEx is a long because it dropped a lot and it's looking cheap. So again, you can see the three waves, buy, the three waves and buy. Right? You can literally see those on the lower time frame, right? So this is a good one. Now, if you wanna see another one, UPS, which is in the same sector. So UPS is also pulling the heavy sideways card. So heavy sideways card. Maybe go back up, come back down. It's gonna create some big sideways, and then the pattern is gonna complete, and we're gonna be able to go higher. But wait for a sideways, guys. If you do get the sideways, we're gonna go higher on the bigger time frame. And Q. Oh no, we did that. Sorry. Let's go back up to DE. Yeah, we did DE. We did HD. T. So AT&T upside, upside to retest this trend line. However, if you look at this, we have this wave down, which is not matched by anything right here. So again, we might go up again, come back down to complete this structure, and then go back up, right? So wait for that. Can you do an R2R video sometimes? Yeah, I can. I can do an R2R video sometime. Ok, mais pas maintenant, pas maintenant. Je finis dans 10 minutes, ok? Ok. Dragos, what chart time frame are you using? I use all the time frames. I use 1 minute, I use 1 hour, I use sometimes 15 minutes, I use daily, and I use monthly, right? Right. Why do I use monthly as well? Well, I'll show you right now. What is this on the monthly? It's just a three wave. That's it. The crash of 2008, from 2001 to 2008, was just a correction, right? And why do I use all the time frames? Because another part of another subjuncture of yes, I can do Tilray, and you can actually watch my previous webinar on Tilray, and you'll see why I was bullish on Tilray. But yeah, there's a section in chaos theory which says that patterns have repeat themselves in different fractals. Okay, so you can see the same pattern on the lower time frame. All right, like pull up a 4-hour chart, you'll see this, and an upside, and then a 1 minute, 5-minute chart, you'll see this and upside. Right, same thing. Okay. All right, let's just do Tilray because I don't know if my boy Brian has something to do, and also I'll do Wayfair for you because I know you're interested in Wayfair. I told you it was a huge short, then it went up for like what 2 weeks to 3 weeks, and then it tanked. So I hope you're not pissed about that one, bro. But yeah, still got the downside that I told you about. But yeah, we'll cover the Wayfair chart right after this one. So like I said, Tilray, similar to Nvidia. So as soon as we get the break of the previous low, very interesting is that Tilray, as soon as it breaks the previous low, it spikes, right? A small break of the low and it spikes. Small break of the low, we get a huge sideways, and then but here's where you actually cheated on Tilray, because and this is actually it's actually like I don't know. I'm giving you like really huge tips right here, but I'll show you this one, guys. It's just for the sake of it. So you can actually apply comp analysis to Tilray that showed you that we should have gone up. The probabilities were for Tilray to go up, and I'll show you why. It's because some pot stocks in Canada that we were actually forecasting, Hexo and Fire, were actually going up before Tilray, right? So if these were completing the patterns before Tilray, then what do you think Tilray is going to do? It's going to try to catch back up, right? All right, let me show you guys. So hopefully it loads because it's slow a little bit, but my computer is really fast. All right, so let me show you guys. So this is the 1 hour, this is the 1 hour. Okay, so on Hexo, which is a Canadian stock, on the I need to see where I can go on the settings here. I don't think it's gonna work. Sync on all, yeah, okay, sync on all charts, drawings. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Nice, it should work now. Okay, vertical line, Fire, the Supreme Cannabis. All right, so let's go. So okay, let me put a line right there. Okay, it doesn't work. Come on, man. Anyway, so okay, so this was January the 4th, right? Where were we on the 4th on Hexo? We were right there. Come on. Okay. We were right there. All right. So, isn't this cheating? And for Fire, we were right there. And for Tilray, we were right there. Now, if we look at Canopy, right, CGC, it's even worse. Because we literally got the 3-wave. We literally got, I was saying in the webinar, guys, there's a spike. We need the next spike for it to go back down, right? That's what I said. Okay? The only thing is that you don't know if this is the one or this is the one. Again, same thing as the IQ chart. So if you want to look at the IQ chart, same thing that's happening right now. It's all these pump and dumps kind of stocks where the down move is very slow and steady. Okay, because it's all the longs that are unloading from from the big downswing. All right, but eventually it goes back up, and now if you look at if you look on the fourth here, we're actually right here. So as Hexo was spiking and Fire was also spiking, let me just move it on the fourth right here. So as Hexo and Fire were spiking, Canopy and Tilray were just going sideways. You know, so Tilray and CGC, because of comp analysis, which is basically comparing two stocks, they had an incentive to go up. All right. So this is how we knew that weed it was likely to go up this week. Okay. So yeah, I hope that was educational. But yeah, if we go back on Tilray's chart, now the only problem is that CGC completed the pattern that we were looking for. Hexo is also looking completed too. Can CGC and Hexo go back up? I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna be wrong, because right now the stock, the market, the weed businesses are actually creating a profit. So whenever a business is creating a profit, it's starting to it starts to gain some long-term investors. That's what I'm saying. Some long-term investors stay in the business. Okay. Now, what do I think is gonna happen? And this might be like really uh, controversial, but in the best case scenario, Brian, you get 164. All right, you get 164 to complete a smooth pattern. But I'm not sure if it's gonna happen. I really don't think it's gonna happen. But in the best case scenario, you get 164, right, especially right there, and then you go for the next really big drawdown move. Okay, so that's Tilray. Same thing as Dries back in the days, right? So if you look at Dries back in the days, it had these kinds of moves. Okay. But yeah, as soon as you get this pop, man, just short it, because for sure it's going back down. But can it go back down from here? Yeah, too. So it's kind of tough to know right now. I really can't say. But yeah, you can. Best case scenario 164. Worst case scenario, it still dips. Still dips. This still dips. You wait for another break of the low, like I said, and then you buy again. You get it? So that's just understanding price action in the chart, right? As soon as it breaks the low, you long. As soon as it breaks the low, it squeeze. All right. Let's do Wayfair for you. So back in the days, I told you that Wayfair was a short right here. Come on, man. Okay, it's taking some time to load right now. So yeah, basically I told you that Wayfair was a short right here. So I was actually looking at this pattern just for you to know. So this is just like some sort of what happened and what I was looking for. So I was expecting this to go all the way down here, but eventually, of course, these charts, they squeeze even higher, but if they do squeeze higher, they fall even lower. So it was actually it was a tough trade. It was a really tough trade, because at this point I was expecting this, but we came back higher. I remember this was in August. No, I actually don't know. But yeah, this was actually one of the tougher shorts, bro. So yeah, I hope you did make money on this. But yeah, I mean, now this is actually looking to go back up. Okay. So Wayfair is going to go in this sideways, probably come back down lower, and then go back up. All right. So yeah, that's for Wayfair. Let's go back up to do the healthcare. So like I said, J&J, if this is the three wave that is completed, like I said, a month or 2 ago. Buy. All right. Buy for the next huge leg up. Can this really explode right now? Yes. It's ready. If there's a time for this thing to really explode, it's right now. Even with the bad news and all that stuff, it's useless. My favorite one, Pfizer, because in all the craziness, this thing just went down like 10%. So this company is so good. This company is so good. Okay. And it also went through this huge correction back then, and is now looking to go even higher. All right. You can see that this is going to explode. IMO, in my opinion. Merck, same thing as Pfizer. It went down almost like 10% only. Even if the S&P dropped, that was 30% that it dropped or whatever, and you can actually see a 3-wave right here on the 4-hour. So that's actually a very, very good setup, man. Like, Merck is actually a very, very good setup. If you look at this is classic wave theory. Came back to the trend line, bounced. Okay, this is still in an uptrend. Whoops, come on. This is still in an uptrend. Came down to the trend line for the crash, bounced. Now is pulling a heavy sideways, and then take the next long. That's literally your setup. That's it. That's it. That's your trade. Okay. CVS. So CVS, like I said, is one of the stocks that I like the most, value wise. I do think this is really low, and I think this is a completed structure, like you can see right here, and I think this could go higher in the long term. So wait for a sideways and then take the next long. I think this is gonna go much higher, because this is just a pullback similar to Pfizer in 2009. So you can see the similarities. Remember this, and I'll look at Pfizer. So this is exactly the same thing, right? There's not much difference. And then it goes up. Okay, let's do Gilead. Let's go through them really quickly right now because we're running out of time, and I don't want to take you guys too long. But I hope you enjoyed it. So UNH is trying to uncoil to go back up, and it's successful. But again, I think this one is going to fall on ER. So this one is going to go up, and then it's going to fall on ER. And if it does fall on ER to that 238, look for the next long. All right. So if it does fall on ER, wait for the contracts to dry out. Wait for the contracts to dry out, and when they have created this down move, take the long. Okay. Gilead upside. You can see that it's finally giving us that sideways. So this sideways is really good because this is looking upside. XOM, ExxonMobil upside because oil is upside. You can see that it's correcting. We hit the lower target on the higher time frames, and we're actually looking to go much higher. So take this long. BA. So BA, like I said, guys, 360 and then careful. All right. We covered this at the beginning of the webinar because this is like BA has 10% of the S&P inside of it. So wait for it to go all the way to 360 and then either big sideways or total dump. Okay? Because again, it never goes up in one fell spike. It goes through like periods of sideways and all that stuff. That's how the market goes up, guys. Okay, TXN is going to go all the way here, similar to INTC, blah blah blah. You've seen this. You've seen me do this previously in the webinar if you stuck too long. So look for that one. LMT just for BA. So I forecast LMT, RTN, and NOC for BA, and then use comp analysis, guys. Okay, so well, LMT is like I said in the previous webinars, if this is the bigger correction, then this is looking to explode, which we're looking at. RTN, same thing here. Nothing else to say. At the very least, you get this. You get this, guys. And yeah, but this is gonna be this is gonna take some time, because even if it goes all the way here, it's gonna pull back. You already know the gist of it, right? Right? You already know the gist of it. NOC. So again, you don't even have to rush on buys. You don't have to rush on buys. Just wait for the perfect setup. Wait for big sideways and then take the long. NOC is boring. PJ is doing what we said it would do. So it came here, now it's pulling the heavy sideways inside of that $92 range. So again, this and if you look at the previous webinar, I literally said this, said it's gonna bounce here. It's gonna pull the heavy sideways. It's gonna attempt at going up. If it does attempt at going up and then it's kind of squiggly, then on the ER, what do we expect? Downside. We expect it to dump on ER, only to pick it back up. All right, so that was the whole forecast, and let's see if it happens. I would be down to gamble on PJ puts on ER, to be honest, because it's such a cheap stocks and you never know. Might pull a WMT, but reverse, right? If you remember that big WMT ER. All right. So WMT, we got the 3-wave that we were looking for. So now, again, either big sideways or total dump. But here is literally a place where it's starting to exhaust itself. So look for this before the next upside. But honestly, dude, I think this is going down. For some reason, I don't think this is going back up. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Obviously, if S&P wants to go to 3K, Walmart should go up. But yeah, I do expect this $78 retest in the longer picture, right? Like I said in the previous webinars. Okay, target. There's nothing else to say. It dumped and came back up. So this is very good for longs. It actually tells you that there's, you know, if it dumped right there and then do this, then this is literally saying that we want to actually go back up in the bigger picture, right? Okay, BTFD, guys, BTFD. It dumped, BTFD. Costco, same thing, I think. There is nothing to add. Boring. Forget it. Cloud stocks are actually interesting, guys. So next week, maybe one of the best thing is actually to focus on hyper growth stocks like NOW. So yeah, NOW has a nice pop all the way here, and then we'll see. But yeah, look for that. Adobe, like I said, same thing as BA, same patterns. As soon as we said it comes here, be careful, we might get all the way back up. So exit your shorts. It really did that, so we're really happy. And now if we do get the pullback right here, we'll take the next long. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's for Adobe, because it's gonna retest the 260 area. Twitter is upside. So I don't know if you have seen this before, but this is what Twitter does. Come on, man. All right, so what did we see here? Upside, dump, and then massive upside. So here, same thing, upside, dump, and then massive upside. Okay. This is sort of like a fake out or whatever you heard it by the name of. But as soon as you get this heavy dump and this huge reversal, oh my god, this is actually the time where you should load up on like 40s and hodl. This is literally the time where you should load up on 40Cs and hodl. Okay. Literally, guys. Because it's showing you a lot of strength, because the fact that we dumped really fast and it came all the way back up. As soon as you pull a sideways, man, this could really go up. So if it comes back to 30, look for 40Cs for like 6 months out and hodl. I'm not even kidding. WDay, So W day is in this big up move. Okay, because like we said, it completed its huge sideways a long time ago, and it went up on ER, and now it's just in this huge uh, spike. So literally pull a trend line, and as soon as it comes to the trend line, buy. All right. CRM, last cloud stock, maybe. No, we have shop, but that's not a cloud stock. Anyway, so shop, what did we say? We said it's gonna come all the way here. It's gonna break the high, then it's gonna pull back, and then next long. Okay. Shopify. Shopify, like we said, it's in the it's looking like it wants to break out of this huge congestion and actually explode. So watch out for this ER. This is going to be a huge one. As for Disney and as for something else that I can't remember, but this is an ER you want to pay attention to, because if this congestion pattern is over and we're actually ripping to the upside, this is a lot of money. Spotify, forget it. It's looking upside, but it's very boring. So yep, as soon as we get this, then this is likely to happen. Roku. Roku is a long. So Roku went up, like we said in the previous webinar. Look for the long. Look for we were here. We were here, and we said look for the long. So we got a huge gap up. I didn't think it would happen like that, but it's fine. Now is it? Can this still be a long? Yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Because we're just in a huge sideways from 30 to like 70, right? Okay, so what is going to happen on Roku? Well, look, we got a huge spike down. I have to wait for TradingView to update. Okay, we have a huge spike down, and then we don't get spikes. Okay, we get some really huge sideways. So we're gonna probably do this, and then we're gonna spike another one to complete this structure, and then go back up. All right. So you can literally see. I think it's gonna be a 3-wave inside of a 3-wave. So what do you do for Roku? Sideways. Okay. So how do you wait? Let me just explain it better because that was way too fast. So how do you trade this? You have to go with equity, or you can be a total degenerate degenerate like me and buy some Friday lottos. Okay, so you can either go two routes, but you obviously know the one that I'm gonna want you to take. Literally take shares. So the play here is just to wait for this to come all the way back down, to come here, and then take this play. Really tight stop. As soon as you see some Momo from the downside, take this long. Okay, this is your target, like I said, and don't get out. I've traded something similar to this on Tesla, and it actually works. Okay, so look for it to come down a little bit, and then take the long at 37.80. Okay, SQ. So SQ is a long. There's nothing else to say. This is going to keep on floating up, going to create the huge B wave, infinity B wave that I told you about, and then it's going to create this huge dump to complete this leg. So we get this, and as soon as this is over, then it can go up, right? So now it's floating. You can clearly see that it's still, if it still wants to float, then you have to be careful on your long, okay? If it still wants to float to the upside, then this is when divergence kicks in, right? Now, if this happens and we explode right now, I'm gonna be totally wrong, right? But is this still a buy? Yes, because we're literally flagging. We're flagging. I'm just saying, if this floats to the upside, be careful because we might get a dump right here and then go back up. All right, that's all. PayPal. So PayPal is kind of getting tough right now because it's exceeding our targets. Maybe this is the best company ever. But yeah, we said that it would come right here and then dump. I don't think it's gonna do that. I think we should just wait, I guess, on this thing because right now it's really not clear. So yeah, I would definitely give some time on PayPal because I don't see anything obvious right now. So I would just leave the chart as it is and wait for a cleaner setup and just don't trade it. Lulu, Lulu, we had a dump on all the retail stocks recently, and Lulu came back up because again BTFD guys. So again, we're gonna pull the sideways card, and as soon as the big sideways is over in like one or 2 months, maybe even less, but as soon as the big sideways is gonna be over, I'm gonna call the upside, and this is gonna be a lot of money because Lulu does have another leg to the upside. AOE, same thing as Lulu, big pullback, big sideways, and then we take the next long. FOSL, same thing, nothing to add. But FOSL is very, very nice because this is a huge wedge to go higher. So on its ER in 1 month, look for the upside. I'm going to take calls for sure. Take calls for sure. CPRI, which is the company that owns Michael Kors, one of my favorites. Sideways. And if you do get the sideways, because it has dumped so much, man. So you get the sideways and then you can take the long. Can this be a bear flag for it to go down? Yes, but I don't think so. Guess is a long. Guess is a long. This is classic wave theory. So now you just have to wait for the sideways, like I said, in all the previous stocks, and then take the long. ANF. So ANF is the only special one. It's not special anyway. It's gonna go sideways as well. UAA sideways. There's nothing else to add, guys. I'm really sorry that I'm not like giving you some extra content right here, but everything wants to go sideways. I don't know how to say that even better. It's just so short volatility, literally. Okay. UAA, this might be the pattern, which is what I'm looking for. And then if we do get the sideways, again, it's going to go up and even go to 30. So this is actually something you might want to consider buying equity into because I do believe in this company long term. And yeah, URBN, forget it. This is actually the only thing that can still be a short within the retail sector. Ralph Lauren sideways and then maybe take a long, but for now I'm not interested at all. Goose. Goose is also pulling the sideways card right here. It's gonna pull the sideways card, so look for a bigger sideways, and then take the long. As soon as you think that it has gone sideways enough, take the good R2R long, guys, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And if you're afraid to take a trade, just buy one contract. All right, buy one contract, just to try it out. Nike is boring. Don't touch it. Where it's at right now, it's gonna be in this weird pattern. Just as soon as Nike does that and it's not predictable, forget it, guys. Forget it. Trade simple stuff. Cigna, don't touch it. TPR, not interesting. Tiffany, interesting. So Tiffany, again, like we said, is actually looking the best out of all the time it has dumped. So from all this to here, it's looking the best right now. So literally, after you get a spike up, what do you get? After you get a spike up, what do you get? You usually get a sideways, and then you take the next long. Very simple, guys. You've seen me like spam this thing right now. Okay, weed. So weed, quickly, because we covered a little bit of it before. So like I said, weed is went all the way back up. If you look at the previous webinars, we were looking for this spike. We got it. my friend Justin made some good money. Could still go back up, but as soon as we get 55, if it rejects from 55, if it rejects and breaks 50, forget it. It's going all the way back down. It's gonna do this pattern where it just comes up, breaks the low, and then as soon as there's enough buyers, it's gonna go back up, right? But for now, it's gonna go all the way back up here, get rejected, come all the way back down, and then go in this big sideways. All right. Tilray upside potentially to 164, but very, very, very. I don't think it's gonna happen, but we'll see. Could be. Um, Otherwise, same thing as CGC. It's gonna go all the way back down here, similar to dries as well. It's gonna break the low slightly, and then it's gonna go back up. All right. ACB, Afaria, Aurora. Sorry. So Aurora, same thing. Can I get some trend lines? So Aurora is in this pattern, like I highlighted it previously. And as soon as we get here, we'll see what happens. For sure, we're gonna get some sideways before the next upside or some more downside. Okay, Hexo, we covered that. My dad is in this one. Cron. So Cron is something that I need to cover because it's the only special one. So Cron is going to, okay, thank you TradingView for not updating my charts. Another time. I don't want to update my computer right now. So Cron is going to want to retest this and then come again all the way back up, back down to complete this pattern. And then it's gonna attempt at going up again. And then it's gonna fall to complete this sideways. Okay. So I hope that was clear. If it's your first time in here, it might not be, but this is what we're looking at. Okay. A bigger sideways inside of a bigger one. All right. So yeah, fire upside. And why do I keep track of these things? Because of comp analysis, like I showed you. So these were actually faster than CGC and Tilray, and we actually made the forecast that they would try to catch up to CGC. So that was easy money. Starbucks, similar to WDay, if you watch this thing, and it's actually ready to pop. And why is it similar to WDay and many of these things? It's because they came out of a huge correction. This is a huge correction. Right, from 2016 all the way to 2018, that was just sideways. So what happens after a huge period of sideways, guys? This spike, 1 month correction, spike, 1 month correction, spike. All right, you're trending. So we're expecting this to be in a trend. So if we're saying that this is in a trend, look at what it's doing right now. It's actually building really good support, whatever you want to call it. I don't call it support, but I know some of you guys might call it support, but it's actually creating a nice base. And yeah, it's looking upside. Can actually see a 3-wave right here, right? Upside. All right. So Starbucks is actually a really good long term. Remember that. BlackBerry, like I said, wait for that $4 mark. All right. Even if it goes up, it's so depressed that there's no way this is going back up a lot. DUK, right now at least. Duke is boring. I mean, this is utilities, so there's no point in covering this thing because nobody ever trades them. Okay, DHR, I skipped it. Then I'll do Avgo for sure and IRBT. iRobot because robots are interesting. If I can load the charts. So what did we say on DHR? Last week we said this is a long. Okay. So if you're in from here, from the 4th, if you're in from here, you're doing a fantastic job. So literally this could be it for the big pattern on DHR, and we can actually take off. Right? This huge sideways might be over, and this takeoff will happen soon. But can you buy it right here? maybe you could chase, or either you wait for a big correction. Like I said, wait for the S&P to do its 1 to 2 month correction, and then you take the long on DHR, and that's going to be really, really good R to R, and a lot of money. So Avgo, what happened? And this is similar to Oracle short that we had previously. So I have to cover this thing in detail. So we have this 3-wave, right? And then we get the short. Now here we said that it's a massive short all the way here. What happens? We break the previous low. As soon as you break the previous low, can we go back up? Yes. Yeah, because then you can look at this. I'm sorry if you heard me burping. That was not my purpose. But anyway, so if you see this, then yeah, this is upside, right? The only requirement is we have to break the low. Did we break the low? Yes. Did we take profits on most of our position? Yes. So we're fine. All right. Really fine. It goes back up. I don't care about Avgo anymore. I don't care about Avgo. If it does come back down here though, if Avgo does come back here though and gives me a sideways, dude, for sure I'm taking the short. For sure I'm taking the short. Okay? So remember that. If it pulls all the way back down, next sideways, I'm jumping in the short. Because it could still be in this huge short. Okay? So IRBT, really quickly, we're looking at this 3-wave. So for this to come all the way back here. And then again, the next grind down before the next upside. Okay? Yeah. So we're looking at that. It's gonna attempt to go all the way here, and then it's gonna pull a very, very big correction before the next upside, because not a lot of businesses go up like this in huge spikes without giving us a very, very drawn out correction. Okay. WDC is actually very interesting, as odd as it sounds, but literally this has been perfect for us because we did get the 3-wave, and now, funnily enough, according to waves, this could go like this. Now it's very unlikely because I don't know the company at all, but this is a possibility. Okay. Now at least and at the very least we get some upside here. I would expect some mild upside at least. I don't think we're gonna tank, but at least we get a nice spike from the bottom, man, because this is so depressed. This is so depressed. So yeah, I mean, I would expect this to do this at least once before dying. Okay. So look for the WDC long. It's gonna be interesting. Win is doing what we said it would do. So we're winning, right? No pun intended. But yeah, this sideways, 1, 2, 3. Look for here. Either bigger sideways for upside or total tank. We're in CZR with my boy Neil Patel. So yeah, CZR. He told me to chase some CZR calls, and I just did it blindfoldly because I trust that guy so much that I don't even need to look at the charts to know that it's a good play. His things have been really, really solid lately. So, and also I don't understand, but casinos and all that stuff, poker is starting to get back into the shed of the light, man. I really do think people are starting to gamble a little bit more. So CZR could see some more upside here. Okay. Okay, let's not do Riot. SciX is what I'm in, but it's not chartable, I guess. VXX, more downside. So if you're not in some puts, you're clearly missing out. And LUV. So Love is interesting. I do think airlines are due, so you can look for this long on ER. Okay. All right, guys. That's been it. I hope you enjoyed this week's webinar. My name is. I'll cut this short because, we've done everything. I have some work to do for school. But yeah, if there's any question about this webinar, please DM me, and I'll do my best to answer you. in the shortest amount of time. But anyway, guys, I hope you learned something today, and you'll be more confident in taking your trades. This is why I do these webinars, because I don't see anybody doing like a 1 hour comprehensive webinar on so many charts, so that you see the patterns and you can recognize them when you trade. Okay, I don't see anybody doing that, so I want to go forth and do it for the people. I want to give back to the people. You saw these charts, these technical and analysts, right? They spend like 20 minutes to 30 minutes on SPY only. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. So anyway, that's my quick 1 minute rant. And yeah, take care, guys, and have a nice trading week. Bye bye.